Something he does or sees, like how do you know like he's kind of locked in?
That's just how he carries himself in game. Like he's a pretty goofy kid off the field if you've been around him. So like he likes to play around and stuff. But you just know on game day like it's just strictly business.
I'm just competitive, man. You know, I just want to win. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. It's kind of just me just going out there and playing football.
That was Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels. Washington minutes away from kicking off their divisional round playoff game in Detroit against the NFC's top team, the Lions. Think back to August. Would you even thought the Commanders would be on the verge of playing for the NFC Championship? While the players fought hard all season, 13-5, 3 of those losses coming on the road. But this team is ready for just one more road win so they can play again next week.
How do you guys feed off kind of that crowd noise?
Man, we're just going to take our own energy, and whoever's going on that plane going to that game, that's what we're going to go with.
I love a hostile environment. You know, it's a great feeling, man. And, you know, they got a great fan base. Like I said, they got a great team, some great players, but, you know, we ready.
All right, we ready. Joining me now is Nate Brown from our sister station, WWMT in Michigan. He's live right now inside Ford Field. And Nate, I wish I was there, but take me through the atmosphere. What is it like leading up to game time?
Yeah, Scott, I tell you, the atmosphere, electric as it usually is inside the confines of Ford Field. These fans, I don't want to say spoiled last year, but they definitely got a taste of what the playoffs were like, making it all the way to the conference championship, getting a pair of home playoff games, and I can assure you that this fan base is ready for another run to a conference championship, hopefully a run to the Super Bowl, and they're not going to make it easy on the life of the Commanders and Commanders players throughout this one.
Nate, everybody tells me about how loud it gets inside Ford Field. Why does it get so loud? Like, kind of explain just the dome mentality and how the fans are just so passionate about the Lions.
Yeah, you know, I don't know much about architecture, so I don't know if it's, you know, the way things kind of reverberate off the ceiling inside of here, but I will say that, you know, these fans, these Lions faithful, they are ready for anything. They're ready to make noise for their team. The second Jared Goff steps on the field, you know you're going to get a Jared Goff chant, which I'm sure you guys have even heard about by now. And they certainly do have one X factor inside this building. That's when one gentleman by the name of Marshall Mathers gets thrown up on the big screen, on the Jumbotron here. And I can guarantee you there's a pretty good chance he's going to be here for another home playoff game tonight. And when that happens, quite frankly, all heck seems to break loose.
Everybody loves Eminem, my friend. And, you know, you mentioned kind of the Detroit fans, and this has been building and building for the Lions franchise. But you look at Washington, they're the underdogs in this game. Do you get a sense that the Lions faithful are a little bit nervous about this game?
You know, to every Lions fan that we spoke to ahead of the game, they wouldn't actually verbally say that they had any kind of nerves, but I will say a lot of people acknowledge just this aura that Jaden Daniels does have and what he's been able to do, what the entire team has been able to do and accomplish this season. So you're probably not going to get a single Lions fan to openly admit that there is some sense of nervousness, any level of nerves. It's just all sheer excitement for them. And again, they are still very confident in their team, finally getting a bye week last week for a lot of the Lions players to rest up and freshen up for a hopefully lengthy playoff run on their end. But I will say, again, there's plenty of fans here that sporting Commanders colors and ready for what this showdown is going to offer.
I was just going to say, because Washington fans traveled really well to Tampa in the first round. You're seeing a lot of burgundy jerseys up there in Detroit?
I am seeing the most visitor jerseys that I have seen ever in my time here covering the Lions, and that includes division rivalry games against the Bears, against the Packers, you know, those area teams that always try to come out and support because they're in close proximity. Just a couple weeks ago against the Minnesota Vikings, it was reported that, you know, Vikings ownership, they tried purchasing somewhere around, you know, 2,000 tickets to try and flood Ford Field with purple and gold. I got to say, as someone who's here, that did not work because Lions fans just tend to drown out everyone. But what I have seen from the Commanders, these guys have traveled. They've traveled better than either of the home teams last year that the Lions had. They face off against the Rams. They face off against the Buccaneers. And what I've seen from Commanders fans today, far and away, the biggest outpouring of support from a visiting team.
Yeah, the revival of the Washington fan base. And earlier, Nate actually tracked down some Commanders fans in Detroit that are going to the game. Take a listen.
We're coming from a mile outside of Washington, D.C., suburban Maryland. Made a rash decision Wednesday. Let's go. I'm a child of the 80s. The magic is happening in Washington, D.C. We know we got a slim chance, but we're here to see if we can get some magic just like we had 30 years ago.
The Lions are here, never been to a Super Bowl. We've never had a rookie QB go to the Super Bowl. There's a lot on the line here. I think he could do it. We're about to see history happen, and it's fantastic. Jayden Daniels has what it takes to take us to the next level, and honestly, to see a rookie QB just play in the Super Bowl is something that I think the whole nation would need to see.
I love the passion. I love the excitement from Commanders fans as we wrap things up here with Nate Brown. Nate, I need you to put your coach's hat on. Give me your keys to the game and maybe a prediction for us.
I am not in the business of making predictions, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to help you out there. But in terms of keys of the game, a very important one. The Lions last season, dead last in fourth down defense. They allowed their opponents to convert at the highest percentage across the entire league. This year, my math might be a little off, but I want to say right around 41%, which should be good for second in the league. A great improvement on that end. Now, we know the Lions are aggressive on offense themselves, but we also know that the Commanders have been rather aggressive this season as well, and that's going to be crucial to see one of the top teams who goes for it on fourth down and is successful on it in the Commanders going against one of the top defenses. Both of these coaches, they are hard-nosed. They do have grit. Yes, even Dan Quinn does have some grit to him, and they both know that they're going to go for it. They're going to fight through and through, so no one's going to concede. Well, maybe a punt or two, but for the most part, there's not going to be a lot of willingly giving the ball back. It's going to be going for it. It's going to be interesting to see how one of the best fourth down defenses and one of the best fourth down offenses square off against one another.
Yeah, if you like scoring, this is the game for you. And a quick follow-up, as a football lover, what do you think of Jayden Daniels?
Say it one more time?
Yeah, as a football lover, what are your feelings and what are your thoughts on Jayden Daniels, a rookie? What do you think of him so far?
Well, I can tell you right now, that's probably from some of the buzz around me. I couldn't even hear that. And I don't know if it's because Jayden Daniels just stepped onto the field, but there is something about Jayden Daniels. He's only a rookie, but this fine young gentleman has an aura around him. He's got a moxie around him to see what he has accomplished this season. Again, I don't know the most Commanders numbers off the top of my head, but I want to say, what is it, 6 game-winning drives that he's led this season alone. He's able to show out in the face of the blitz time and time again. He's one of the best quarterback ratings against the blitz this season. There's just something about him. There's that there's that wow, and he seems to do it with such a level of calm that you usually see from 10-year veterans, not a guy who's in his first year in the league. So while I am here on behalf of, Michigan Station, and we're here to hopefully see the Lions perform well and play well, it's going to be a great opportunity to see Jayden Daniels up close and personal, and just possibly the start of a very long and successful career for him as well.
All right, he is Nate Brown, does a great job for our Sinclair sister station in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Nate, appreciate your time and have fun tonight, okay?
Thanks so much, Scott. Appreciate it.
All right, my friends, opening kickoff in Detroit at Ford Field is scheduled for 8 p.m. Should be a great one. Enjoy the game, everybody.